Let's start the show.
Oh, I'm
You
pumped.
like it? How about that for a way to start the steam
I am pumped today.
You are. You always are. That's the thing. You step into this studio, into this steam room.
Is this a studio?
And you always want.
I thought this was a closet.
No, this is a spacious studio.
Spacious?
Look, I can't even see the other wall over there. This place is so big. You know, we got, what do we have, 6 or 7 crew in here? Couldn't fit 8.
Is that what you call it? Is that what you call a crew?
But we call it home, though.
Okay.
You know, before you do, first of all, Zane, can you come out here for a second? Zane's our stage manager.
I like
Look
that.
what Zane is wearing today, a shirt that he made. Look at this.
You
Me
made
dunking
that?
on Shaq.
Well, Shaq wasn't a defender.
I don't think that's the point of the
That's a
shirt.
nice shirt.
That's Zane. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Very
Did you
kind
run
of
down the court doing the too small thing?
See, that's the kind of crew we've got here. That's
I
the
like
kind-
that name too.
Zane?
Yeah.
Zane Smith.
Yeah.
Remember?
I don't like the
left-handed
Smith
pitcher.
part.
Left-handed pitcher for the Braves back in the day. Zane
Really?
Smith. Yeah.
You know, one of my favorite Braves players. My grandfather used to. He was the biggest Braves fan in the world.
Uh-huh.
And I've got to meet Dale Murphy, who's amazing, and should be in the Hall of Fame.
No doubt.
I've never met Bob Horner. He's always been like my grandfather had the Braves on every day for 60 years.
Yeah.
It was crazy. We actually buried him in a Braves hat. That's what a big Braves fan he was.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He's the biggest Braves fan in the world. Like, I can say if I went to his house 300 times, the Braves were on 300 times. He loved the Braves. My grandfather was a great man. Yeah.
Well, here we are. Here we are inside the steam room.
Got a lot today, brother.
Do you really? You
I
fixing
do.
to unload?
Yes.
You're going to feel so good after this is done.
I am. I'm on unload on one thing. Then I'm going to have some positive stuff. So I want to give a rest in peace to Coach Lou Holtz. I didn't know him really, really well, but I met him quite a few times. Was a hell of a coach. Did a great job on television. Anytime somebody died, you should give them their flowers. But Coach Holtz was obviously a hell of a coach.
Very quotable guy, too.
Great on television. Obviously, most people know him as a coach. He did a hell of a job on television for ESPN all those years. So rest in peace, Coach Holtz. The last time I saw Coach Holtz was a few months ago. He was at Augusta National. He was just riding around. He wasn't playing. He was just riding around.
Really?
That ain't a bad place to ride around.
No, you're correct. I believe he was also the guy who first said, "Don't tell me how rough the seas are. Just bring the ship in."
That's it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So rest in peace, Coach Holtz. So I played down at the Arnold Palmer this week.
I'm all ears. I wanted to ask you about this.
It was awesome. First of all, if I see that golf course superintendent, I'm going to beat the hell out of him.
He
Ernie,
had this set up for pros, huh?
The rough was like hitting out of an afro. It was crazy. I mean,
Like hitting out of an afro.
you had to go.
If you said that on TV, they wouldn't let you work some tournaments.
Let's hope. That's right. I'm gonna tell you something, man. The course was in magnificent shape. The greens were great. The fairway was great. But if you hit the ball in the rough, you had to set out damn Jacques Cousteau and a search party to find the ball. The rough was rough. If I ever see the rough guy, I'm gonna beat the hell out of him. But I had a great time. I played with the pro Brian Campbell. He was awesome. He was attentive, and we had fun. And I played with 2 guys who I'd never met before. Roger Steele. He was awesome. He's a content creator, really nice guy. And then I played with Kyle Hamilton. Went to your high school, the great
Marist High School?
the great football player of the Ravens. I played at Notre Dame.
Man.
Yeah. He said, I went to the same high school as Ernie Johnson. I said, about time some talent came out of there. But Kyle, man, he can play too, but he's a great player. I first noticed him at Notre Dame, but now he's a great player for the Ravens. So they were fun to play with.
How were you hitting it?
I played all right.
Because you've been...
I've been playing well. I didn't play great. It was hot as hell. It was
Florida.
hot. Shout out to my girl Sydney who babysitted me. She was awesome. But shout out to everybody at the Arnold Palmer. And shout out Justin Thomas, his first tournament back.
Yeah.
He looks great.
You play a lot of golf. You play a lot of golf in front of folks.
Yes.
But for one of these, this is not Tahoe.
No.
It's all, that's a really fun event and a bunch of your contemporaries in there.
Yeah.
But something like this, when you're on the first tee at this.
Oh, once you hit the first person, it's over after that. You're good. Like, once you hit the first person in the head, you can relax and just play.
Is that going? Look, you have to have positive swing thoughts. When you're on the first tee, are you thinking, I hope I don't hit somebody in the head?
Well, it's interesting because the pros are so good. Like, the fans are like right here, and the pro gonna hit it right in the middle.
Yeah.
And these idiots are standing right there when you hitting, and you know you're gonna knock the hell out of somebody at some point. It's very uncomfortable when there's that many people that close. Like when you play in Tahoe, the people are not round the tee box; they're way back. Now you might hit somebody in the fairway, but that's it.
Yeah. You know what? Real quick story. Woody Austin. Remember Woody Austin?
I know Woody.
We're out there covering the PGA Championship one year in the practice round. And I'm just walking with Woody and whoever he was playing with. Woody's got a ball in the rough, and I just back up a couple of steps as he's getting ready to hit. And he looks at me and says, "You need to start hanging out with better players."
That sounds like Woody.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a great dude.
Yeah,
he's a great dude. So, couple now. I want to give a shout out to James Tallarico, who won the election in Houston. I'm a big fan of his. You know, my three favorite politicians right now, Governor Shapiro in Pennsylvania, Governor Westmore down in Maryland, and James Tallarico. Listen, both of these parties are awful. Y'all need to start voting for people. And give a look out for James Tallarico, Governor Josh Shapiro, and Westmore. Learn out about them. Both of these parties are awful. Learn to vote for people. So that's my political.
Tallarico won his primary,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, two things. Oh, I got to give a shout out to Scotty Scheffler parents. They were so awesome. They came out and followed me for about 3 or 4 holes. They wanted to see greatness on the golf course.
Did they really? Because they never get enough of that inside the family.
Scotty's over there hitting it all over the place. But he has to kind his mom and dad. And I walk with them. They walk with me for 3 or 4 holes. So shout out to Scotty Scheffler parents, man. They are tremendous people, but they just want to watch greatness. Me just slapping it around, go finding it.
Yeah, they want. Hey, I'm a foot into the rough and I can't find it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to finish up with a couple things. I hate people who have an opinion on everything. That just makes you an ass. That's why I only got social media, Instagram, and I don't comment on stuff. I don't read comments. And I told Victoria, the girl who handles my account, don't you ever read comments. We don't give a damn what these losers think. But I want to say this to these WNBA players. You could see this train wreck coming, okay? You could see this damn train wreck coming. I didn't say anything publicly because when y'all start bad-mouthing the commissioner, you have to remember one thing. The commissioner worked for the owners. The commissioner's not trying to be like I like Kathy, but she's speaking for the owners. So now I hear all these people on television for the last 3 months talking about you women, y'all got these dudes and y'all got the commissioner and y'all got the owners. I'm like, well, y'all better be careful because you know who has power? People who got damn money. Hey, I love the WNBA. I wish you women nothing but the best. But this notion that y'all were gonna just hold everybody's feet to the fire and get whatever y'all wanted, that's not the way it works. You have to make the best deal possible. But the people got all the money. They're going to make the rules. Let me tell you 2 things. The 3 most important NBA players are Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan. You know what they did to us? Sit your ass at home. Sit your ass at home twice. The notion that workers are ever going to overpower billionaires and multimillionaires, that's never going to happen in any capacity. Ladies, I want y'all all to get paid, and I wish y'all the best. But y'all got to be very careful. Don't listen to outside noise. Y'all get in that room and say, hey, let's make the best deal. You don't want to strike. You don't want to lock out. But I've been watching for months all these people on TV talking about you can pay what you can get. You might not get paid what you're worth, but you get paid what you can get. So I wish y'all the best, but y'all need to, hey, make the best deal. Okay, give a shout out to Ray Lewis talking about social media the other day, saying social media is worse than drugs. Guys, y'all know I hate social media. But they made me get on it because I have a vodka and a gin. Shout out to Redmont Vodka and Buck and Gin. But I didn't want to get on social media because I think it's where scumbags go to die or feel important. I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. I think it's where scumbags go to act like they're important and significant or have an opinion on everything. Y'all reached a new low for me, and it hurt me. I always say, when you see something, you're like, well, they can't go any lower than that. But man, y'all never cease to amaze me how low scumbags y'all are. There was a young kid named K.C. Concepcion at the draft combine. He's a wide receiver from Texas A&M. And I'm getting emotional now because I was so pissed when I heard about it. So this kid has a stuttering problem and a speech impediment. And it was tough. It was tough to listen to because I was watching it when it was happening. And then I saw some of my friends who know why I hate social media send me some of the comments that you people were making about this kid. Man, you are the lowest people. And the kid had to come out and say, hey, I saw a lot of y'all making fun of me and it's something I'm working on and blah, blah, blah. But man, what type of people are you? That the kid probably didn't wanna say anything, probably. But like, you know what? I wanna play in the pros. I gotta do it all. But man, it bothered me so much.
Obviously.
Like, why would you do that?
No, you make a choice in how you're going to react to something.
Yeah.
And part of you says, and for these people who took that tack,
Yeah.
part of them is like, well, should I get on this guy or should I
Sit it out.
should I be kind?
Yeah.
Or should I say nothing?
Yeah.
And then when you make that choice,
It's just like, why would you do that?
what?
Don't say anything.
No.
It's like it has nothing to do with your life, number one, but to be mean-spirited. And this kid, man, this is
Because it elevates them. It's to your point.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of people out there who it elevates them in their mind to rip you or to rip somebody on TV or say, oh, this guy's terrible at what he does. Somebody makes a mistake. Oh, well, see?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's sickening.
Yeah,
Chuck. It really is.
Come on, man. This kid has a speech impediment. He was stuttering, and I was like, whoa. But I didn't realize, because I was watching, I was like, man, that takes some courage.
Yeah.
And then to see all the mean-spirited comments, I'm like, yo, who sits at home behind a computer and say, hey, you know what? Let me make fun of this kid. So, man, it never ceases to amaze me, man. It just broke my heart. And I wish this kid, I hope he makes it.
Yeah.
K.C. Concepcion is his name. So, man.
Good player, too.
I'm a good player, and I'm going to be watching because I hope like hell he makes it.
Yeah. And he could be another one of these stories like Bill Walton used to.
Oh, my God. Bill Walton, rest in peace, was great, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then goes on to this great TV career after his playing days. I wish KC the best in this.
Nothing but the best,
I'm working on
man.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep working, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And you folks who think that's funny,
Oof, check yourself.
Go
Look in the
away.
mirror.
There's something that you don't have to do, that if you did, would make a huge difference. So you don't have to check in on a teammate who's clearly overwhelmed. You don't have to slow down and actually listen instead of just responding. You don't have to give feedback with kindness, or show up early, or send a thank you note, or follow up after the project is done. None of that is required, but that's the point. Excellence lives in the things you don't have to do. growth hides in the extra effort. And greatness, it's built in the margins between what's expected and what's possible. And I'm just going to encourage you today to be one of those people that just goes the extra mile and just decides to be intentional.
Wow. One of my all-time favorites, that's Ryan Leake, who is a best-selling author, one of the most sought-after speakers in the country.
I can see.
Yeah, no doubt. And not only that, Chuck, as we get into this, once had a tryout with the Phoenix Suns.
That's right.
And
we need him right now.
And got engaged and married on the same day.
Seriously?
Seriously. That's
It's
saying
true.
something.
It's true.
Man, that is.
Hey, Ryan Leake, thank you so much. We appreciate you taking some time with us today.
Oh, it's an honor. Anytime I get a call from Ernie Johnson, it's an automatic yes.
No,
You know, Ryan, when Ernie talked about you and talked about you got to go get this book and listen to this young man, I says, and he says, we're going to have him on the show. Can you give me a little Cliff Note version of how you got started and got this positive outlook?
Definitely. So I grew up as a pastor's kid. My dad was a pastor in a small town called Rockford, Illinois. And I just always saw that my dad made a difference in the community. He was just a positive person. And I think every single day, each and every one of us gets to make a decision. We've heard the phrase, choose joy. And it's just like, whoa, do I have to choose joy? I'm like, well, what's the alternative? Choose bitterness?
Yeah.
Choose anger? And so every day I just try to make a decision that, man, today I'm gonna choose joy. It doesn't mean life's perfect. It isn't for anybody. But I do think that although we cannot change our circumstances all the time, we can change our perspective on those circumstances. And so I think so much of life isn't what happens to you, it's your perspective on what happens to you. So I just, at a very young age, began trying to figure out ways, hey, how can I be the most encouraging person in the room? And if you're the most encouraging person in the room, well, you'll end up in a lot of rooms, is what I've learned.
That's for sure. So give me an idea. How many days a year are you out there? Are you traveling? Because you're speaking to Fortune 100 companies, you're talking to athletic teams and players. So how many events do you think you do a year?
I do 120 events a year. Yeah, so it's and that's all over. I mean, there's probably about 40 of those in Dallas. It is nice living in the DFW Metroplex because there's a lot of events that happen here. And then Phoenix was my number one city that I went to last year. Chicago, Orlando, Vegas, like once a month, a lot of conventions there. But I do a lot of same day travel. If you have a plane that I can borrow, I would love to use that if you got one.
I know you're not talking to me.
But American Airlines
that must be directed toward Chuckster.
But American Airlines has been really great to me. And, I do a lot of same day travel. I'll leave in the morning, go speak and come back. And every single day we are trying to figure out a way to add value to the lives of other people, whether that's online or in person or creating content or creating videos. We just think every single day, we actually post all of our content at 4 a.m. And people go, why do you do it at 4 a.m? Because I want to be the first voice in your head before you get your day started.
Wow.
The world's going to be nasty to you.
Yeah, got 750,000 followers on Instagram and just loaded with these videos that, I tell you, when you start watching them, Chuckster, and they're great. They're digestible. They're 55 seconds to a minute, and it's bang, let me see the next one. Let me see the next one, and it's all great stuff.
Ryan, I've been in the NBA close to 50 years, close to like 40-something, and I've had these in-depth, deep conversations with players about our kids because it's always all over the place. And it's a crazy situation. My question to you is, growing up as a pastor's son, to me, those are similar. You're under the same amount of pressure to live up to your dad's expectations. Sure. Like, there's this stupid thing that everybody thinks because your dad played in the NBA, every person in his family is going to be a jock. So they're like, no, my son doesn't play basketball. And then you have, obviously, we got a few guys who their sons are great basketball players, but the majority of the guys, they never even play, or their kids don't even like sports. What was the pressure you felt growing up from your dad? I mean, I shouldn't say from your dad, from the public.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get that. You know, it was a ton of pressure, but I think my parents did a really good job of saying, hey, you don't need to be us. You need to be who God's made you to be. You know, my son sat in this very office a week ago and he said, Dad, who do you want me to be when I grow up? And I said, I'm so glad you asked. Whoever God wants you to be. Me and your mom are here to help resource whatever dream God's put in your heart. So, hey, we're in your corner. You do not need to be your father. You don't need to be a speaker. You don't need to be an author. And then my youngest son, he just wants to be a millionaire, period. He's like, Dad, what do I have to do? What do I have to do to be a millionaire? He said, and he calls my job talking to the people. He said, Dad, do I have to talk to the people to be a millionaire? And I said, I mean, it would help for sure. And he said, but is there any way I could make $1 million being behind the computer? I said, in today's day and age, absolutely. He goes, I think I'll do that. I'm like, you know, it is what it is. But I think it's our job to come alongside our children and help them discover what they're good at and also what they're not good at. And being able to say, hey, you don't need to do what we do. And blocking out that pressure and having that mindset that just says, man, what am I good at? What do I feel passionate about? What have other people said, man, you're actually really good at this? I remember the first time I spoke was in seventh grade. I spoke at my youth group and I just had some leaders go, hey, I think you could be really good at this. And then I thought, man, could I do this outside of the church? Could I do this in other settings, whether it's a school or for an NBA team or for a Fortune 100 company? And I thought, man, I think I could work to get there. It's gonna be a lot of work, but I like working. So let's get to work.
Hey, you bring up an interesting point too, because I know your kids are playing organized sports, but your take on everybody gets a trophy is interesting. Tell me because I think we've all been through that with grandkids or with our kids, where everybody is awarded for everything. Okay, go ahead. I can tell you want to jump into this.
Are you want to get me going on a rant today? Listen.
Yes, we do.
My son was in a little basketball league, and they lost by 40. And he got a trophy. I said, throw that in the garbage. You know, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
You lost are we paying attention? And the coach said, we are all winners. No, we are not. You are losers. You lost by 40. You should be embarrassed. Okay. And so I think it's important that the next generation understands this concept of earning it. Like, I think all of us want to be told that we're awesome, that we're amazing, that we're beautiful, that we're handsome, that we're good looking, that you're kind. It's like, no, go make it a true story. Like, don't settle for the feeling of a compliment of just going, yeah, just tell me these things because I'm alive. It's like, no, like go earn that thing. And trust me, what you get when you go earn it is you get respect from others and respect for yourself. And if you get something you didn't earn, everyone quietly doesn't respect you anyways. And so I think it's important that we train our kids to go, no, like go earn this thing. Like that's the real confidence. You're not going to get confidence from people lying to you. Like, you want us to lie to you? It's like, no, you want to be a winner? Go get in the gym. You want to go be a winner? Go put in the reps. It's like, you want to go be MVP of the league? Like, you got work to do. Like, they don't pass out those trophies to just anybody. And so I think it's important that our kids have that mindset, which is why they don't let me coach in the little league. They're like, Ryan, this is not the NBA. And I'm like, but guys, we gotta, there's gotta be a middle around here somewhere. I'm okay with a second place trophy, but not when we lose by 40 and everybody's a winner. No, I'm not lying to my kids. That's for sure.
You know, Ryan, we're not going to get involved in politics, but we're obviously divided. Then you look at NIL, where we're paying kids millions of dollars who haven't accomplished anything. Like, how do we no, we need to take a step back and figure this thing out, because right now it's just a bunch of yelling and screaming. Everybody's on a team. Oh, my team is right, your team is wrong. Or like I said, we got the thing going on with college. We'll give you millions of dollars to come to this school. Okay, it didn't work out there. We'll give you millions of dollars to come to another school.
Yeah.
When are we gonna get some adults in the room say like, hey,
This ain't right.
this ain't right. This ain't, whatever we're doing is not working.
Yeah. Well, I think we're all seeing it in the quality of the competition is changing because the money changed. And I recently was working with a university. I won't say the name because, again, I don't want to get us all on rant. But I thought it was very impressive that the quarterback did not know how much his NIL deal was. He didn't know. He's one of the top college quarterbacks in the country. He does not know. His parents and his financial advisors, they have shielded him from knowing the number so that he can focus on the game.
Wow.
And I think that when I heard that story, I thought, man, I wish that was more of the norm of saying, hey, you're going to be taken care of. You're going to get a car. You're going to get close. You're going to have more than enough. But when you know the number, it actually makes you less competitive.
Yeah.
That you're not bringing your, because you got paid.
Yeah.
And so I think helping kids keep that competitive edge of going, yeah, we obviously want people to be successful and to help their families out and change things for the next generation. I get all of that. I'm for that. But the competition, we can't cheat the game, and I'm a little bit more old school. But that being said, I still think you're going to get better competition if you instill some of those values early on to say, hey, this is not about the dollar amount. This is about competing at a very, very high level. And you're starting to see it with some schools, but it's hard. It has completely changed the competitive landscape.
Ryan, you're a D3 All-American in hoops.
That's right.
And then, yeah, that's right. And then
I got it in the drawer right over there too, if you want me to grab it.
now, one of your books is Chasing Failure, and the way you paint that with this tryout with the Phoenix Suns when Jeff Hornacek was the head coach,
Okay.
is pretty remarkable. So tell me what it taught you and what it made you.
Yeah. So, playing ball growing up and playing in college, you can't watch an NBA game or go to an NBA game without thinking, can I be that good? I'm just competitive. I mean, even at 39 right now, I'll go to games and go, lace them up. I'm just competitive.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're bigger than me. I don't care if you're faster than me. It's like, it's not make and take it. It's like, no, you score on me, I get the ball back. Let's go. That's just my mindset. And so I had an opportunity to meet Kobe Bryant. And before I met Kobe, I thought I have to be able to know what was in me. I have to be able to figure out how good was I and could I have made it? And you'll never know if you never try. And so ironically, I started emailing NBA teams and saying, hey, would you let me work out for your basketball team? I'm doing a documentary called Chasing Failure. I'll probably fail, but what if I don't? There's only one way to find out, and that's for you to let me try. And so the Phoenix Suns said yes. And it was like, what? They're like, yeah, come on Monday. And I was like, this Monday? Yeah, bring your camera crew. I was like, camera crew? I have a camera? Sure. Yeah, I'll be there on Monday. And so I show up, and Julie from the Phoenix Suns, she starts laughing.
Julie,
and I was like, what's so
Julie
funny?
Five.
She goes,
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
And I said, Julie, what's so funny? She goes, we would never do this in a million years. And I was like, so then why did you do it? She goes, I have no idea. And I was like, thank you. So encouraging, right? And then she said something I'll never forget. She said, Ryan, your email came on the right day at the right time.
Wow.
And so we just felt like saying yes. So when I travel the world and encourage people to get outside of their comfort zone and to try things, and they'll say, well, Ryan, this is not how it works. And NBA teams don't give workouts to complete strangers from convincing emails. I said, you're right. I agree. But sometimes they make an exception. And you'll never know if you're an exception to a rule until you're willing to do something exceptional. Who knows if today isn't your day? Who knows if today isn't your time? You will never know unless you shoot your shot. And so what I learned in Phoenix, we started doing the 3-minute drill, where you got to get down the court and back 30 times. So you got to cover 94 feet, 6 seconds, 30 times. I ended up getting about 26. Now, Jeff, he's like, Ryan, you're a guard. I need you to get 30. This was kind of the moment. Yeah. And when I got 26 and failed, it was just like, man, you're in shape, but you're not NBA shape. Like you're not this level. And I just, as I'm sitting in that practice facility, I'm looking around, and normally it's a Lifetime facility. Normally it's a YMCA logo. But on this particular Monday afternoon, it was the Phoenix Suns logo. And I asked myself this question, Ryan, how in the world did you get here? A lot of places you could be on a Monday afternoon. And I realized something that absolutely changed my life. Chasing failure took me further than chasing success ever did. Wow. It landed me in a room that I never thought I would be in. And so what chasing failure did for me in Phoenix is it broke the fear of failure off of my life. So I'm not afraid to propose, pitch, get ghosted, post it, write it, put out something bad. That's how it gets good. Like, I just don't have that fear of picking up the phone, shooting a text. You know how many people haven't texted me back? A lot. You know how many people who have? A lot. The only way it's going to happen is if you shoot your shot. And so back when I tried out for the Phoenix Suns, it's like, man, it absolutely changed my life. And it was so funny. I started having people in the NBA reach out to me and say, dude, your documentary changed my life. I went, but you made it. You didn't fail. They're like, yeah, but you don't understand. Like, we face this every single day. And like, to keep getting up every single day and facing the media and facing opponents, regardless of failure, like, man, it just really spoke to me. And so it's been a really cool journey for me over the last decade of just being able to impact people with that story.
Man, that hits home to me. I think that most people are afraid of failure. That's why they don't ever reach their potential. I give an example.
Yeah.
So I'm from a small hometown, a couple thousand people, and we always had really good basketball teams and really good football teams. But all the basketball players who went to smaller division schools, and I was paying attention throughout high school, and we would all practice and get together. And so then when I started getting better, they're like, what school you going to go to? I said, I don't know yet. I got to figure it out. They're like, you should look at these schools. And they were all small schools. And most people don't know this. I actually signed with a junior college first. Coach Cook at Gaston State. My friends had talked to me and like, yo, man, we're from a small town. We're not good enough to go to big schools. Because my teammates had went to junior colleges or Sanford or Birmingham Southern, small like division schools. And I remember sitting there with my mother and grandmother saying, I says, I'm gonna go to Gaston State. And my grandmother looks at me, there's no way in the hell you're gonna go to Gaston State. And I said, they're like, what do you wanna go? I said, well, I would like to go to a SEC school. But my friends, they're like, we're from a small town. We're not good enough to go to those type of schools. And she says, oh, hell no. She said to me, she said, I don't know if you ever gonna play basketball anyway, to be honest with you, but you're gonna go to college, you're gonna sign with a 4-year school. And so I understand, like, if I'd have listened to my idiot friends, because we said, because you're from a small town, I was like, my grandma said, ain't no way in the hell you're going to a small school. You're going to go to a 4-year school. And once I got there, and I remember Barack Obama said this one time, and it was very profound. He says, the one thing I realized when I went in the room with all these rich, smart people, I was just as smart. I didn't have much money as them, but I was just as smart. And he said, be honest with you, I was smarter than most of them. But the point I want to make about what you said, most people are afraid to fail. So they don't ever take those chances. They don't take those big leaps. So I want to give you your flowers for taking that chance, because you're right. Most people are like, nah, I don't want to hear no. And yeah, and first of all, you said, I heard no a lot.
All the time.
But you got to hear some no's before you hear some yes. So that struck a nerve with me when you said that. And so I want to thank you for that.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
Not only hearing no, but saying no. Tell me the importance of, in our daily lives, of saying no.
Yeah. Ernie, you must be subscribed to the text, because I just sent that text like an hour ago about the power of saying no.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen it.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's always going to be something on the path of success that will distract you. Every single person watching today, listening today, has a path to be on, a destination to go to, that if they're not careful, there's always going to be distractions. And at some point, your ability to get where you're supposed to be is going to come down to what you say no to. And sometimes it's not just saying no to opportunities. Say, hey, can you do this? No. Hey, can you do that? No. That's one level of no. But it also comes down to what you say no to in your own personal life. Some people need to say no to some food. I'm bad at that. Okay, I love me some cookies. So I say yes way too much. But the more you say no, the better position you're going to be in. You might need to say no to social media for a season, or you might need to limit it. But the people that I know that are uber successful, they say no way more than they say yes. Wow. And so I think a person's ability to say no, I've encouraged a couple of my friends that are playing right now in the league, hey, as you lock in for moving towards the playoffs, I want you to think about one thing you can say no to. Just for the next 2 months, not forever, just for the next 2 months. And I said, and I want it to be something personal. The reason I want it to be something personal is because it will leak into professional. It creates a discipline. And so I'm a big proponent of learning to say no. And it can be hard. I mean, especially when you've got friends, especially when you grow up in a small town and you're just like, oh, come on, Charles, come on, Chuck, man, come on, man, just do this one time. Man, we've been friends for a long time. We played on the same team together. We go way back. Yeah. And like people can kind of put this pressure on you to say yes. But lately I've just been saying nope with a PE, nah, NAH, no. I mean, I've been figuring out new ways to say it, you know, and it will weaken a relationship, but in my mind, if the relationship hinged on my yes, then we didn't really have a strong relationship in the first place. And we've got to be honest about that relationship. And while I like being everybody's friend, sometimes people pull the friend card. Come on, man, we boys. It's like, yeah, if we were boys, you would understand that I don't have the capacity to say yes right now. So if we were boys, you would respect my calendar, not be putting pressure on that calendar. And so I turned 40 this year, and it's taken me over a decade to get to a comfortable place of saying yes and no to the right things. And it took me way too long to start saying no more, especially to people that like, these are my homies. And I'm like, sorry, I can't make it.
Hey,
so
as we wrap up, Ryan, look, we teased this when we introduced you. And for Chuck's sake, if you can, I know this. Look, you made a half-hour doc on this, but we don't have a half hour here for this story. But getting engaged and getting married on the same day, Chuckster, this man did it.
So my girlfriend, when we were dating, I overheard her tell a friend that she thought it would be cool to get engaged and married on the same day. I had absolutely no idea what that meant. And so I guessed and began planning our wedding behind her back over the course of 2 years. Now, Chuck, get this. I was in 11 weddings before I was ever in my own. So apparently I was a really good friend in college because people
Yes,
I
you
barely
were.
knew kept asking me to be in their wedding. In fact, one guy asked me to film his wedding. And I was like, cool. Then he canceled on me. I said, dude, why are you canceling on me? He goes, Ryan, I don't want you to film my wedding because I want you to be in my wedding.
Wow.
I said, brother, I just went from making money at your wedding to losing money at your wedding. Like, this is crazy, you know? And so I would bring my girlfriend to each wedding and I would take copious notes on what she liked and didn't like about each wedding. And the 11th wedding was about 3 weeks before this surprise engagement. And the groom walks up to me and he goes, hey, I hear you're doing a surprise wedding. I said, I'm going to need you to keep your voice down. It's a surprise. Okay. Chill out, please. I said, man, what's going on? He said, hey, whatever you do, don't mess up the cake. I said, dude, it's just cake. It's not that big of a deal. He said, trust me, it's not just cake. I learned my lesson the hard way. So I go over to my girlfriend at the time and I say, hey, babe, what do you think about this cake? She goes, I got a better one on Pinterest. And I said, what's Pinterest? I didn't know what Pinterest was. And so I go to Pinterest.com, type in my girlfriend's name, and a mood board popped up entitled My Dream Wedding. And it had 242 photos of everything that she would want in a wedding. And I thought to myself, this would have been helpful 2 years ago. Nevertheless, June 7th, 2013, I get down on one knee and I say, Amanda, will you marry me? She says, yes. I said, today. And we opened up a lounge room door and about 85 of our family and friends were standing in there with a sign that said, today.
Impressive.
We rolled in a dress, hairstylist, makeup artist, everything that you would need to get engaged and married on the same day. So we were engaged for like 11 hours and filmed the whole thing. And it's called The Surprise Wedding and it's on YouTube.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome to watch.
And now we got 2 kids going on 13 years of marriage now.
That's awesome, man.
Ryan Leake, it's been great of you to spend some time with me and the Chuckster
Thank
today.
you.
We really appreciate it. Hey, continue to be the most encouraging guy in the room.
And thank you for being that encouraging light, because, man, it's a lot of noise out there. And
there is.
The noise is always louder if it's bitter and angry. But people like yourself, man, I said, nah, man, you can't ever give in to the bitter and angriness. So thank you.
Absolutely. My pleasure, guys.
No, pleasure was ours.
Yes.
Thanks. Ryan Leake. I told you. I told you. When we use that on Good for the Soul, I said we got to have this guy on the pod.
Every now and then, Ernie, you come up with a home run.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm tired. You get a lot of singles, too.
Well, that was a grand slam right there.
That's exactly right. You had a home run.
I hit my share of ground rule doubles, too.
You ever had a double? I don't know if you could have run when you played baseball.
I had to have a ground rule double so I could just walk into second. Back here on the steam room, time for Round Mound, where I just get to throw out a couple of things at you. You don't know what these are going to be.
They can't be nuggets.
No.
You're going to throw stuff at me and make it chicken nuggets.
What was the yogurt flavor this morning?
Cherry.
Cherry? I thought it was usually like a strawberry.
So I have 3
vanilla
flavors.
thing.
French vanilla, cherry, and strawberry.
Okay, so cherry today with what in it?
Granola and the little nuts. Pistachios.
Okay.
Yeah. So I make like a 3-layer thing. The granola.
So do you take it out of the container?
Yes.
And put it in?
And like just a good sized bowl.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got a couple of layers.
Yeah. I actually had to go and buy, because I only had 2 yogurts left. So I had to get out of bed this morning and go get a yogurt for Sunday.
Where did you do that? Where do you go?
Publix.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, Publix.
Dress like you are right now, wouldn't go in the Auburn shirt?
I did, because you know why? Because Publix is owned by an Auburn family.
Oh,
Barney
okay.
Barnett.
Yeah.
Down in Lakeland, Florida.
All right. And so the story comes full circle.
Yes. So when I woke up, I said, damn, I only got 2 things of yogurt for Friday and Saturday. So I had to go and get 1 more to make for Sunday.
Aren't you going to have some next week also?
We're not here. No, but we're off but I want to make sure I have enough for the whole weekend since we're here.
Okay, good. That was just a stupid way to start Round Mound. So, Miami of Ohio, as we get close to March Madness.
Yes, and I can't wait.
They're 30-0.
Arizona Wildcats. Congratulations, national champs.
So that's, I mean, you've been on them for a while.
I've been on them for a while. Michigan is terrific.
Yeah.
Duke is really good. I
Right.
think those are the three teams that are the best.
Okay.
But I'm
How about
riding Arizona.
Florida?
Florida. I
They're
forgot
scary.
about Florida. They are scary.
Defending champs.
They are. Coach Golden's done a hell of a job. That kid, Dustin May's a hell of a coach, too.
Yes,
Coach
he is.
Lloyd at Arizona. But I'm riding Arizona. Okay. This is our year.
Miami of Ohio is 30-0. But
Yeah.
they're playing in the MAC where you got to win the conference.
And I disagree with Bruce Pearl.
What did Bruce say?
Bruce said if they don't win the tournament, they shouldn't get in. He said because they're not one of the 35.
Yeah, because they're a one-bid league.
But I'm going to disagree with him. I'm going to explain why. First of all, they're 29-0.
30-0.
30-0. Even if they lose a game, they're 30-1. I'm not a big proponent of strength of schedule. Let me explain why. Why is it their fault the other teams suck in their conference? I tell people that all the time. They're like, well, they didn't play anybody. They played their schedule. The schedule's made years in advance.
Akron's a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, Max got some.
But I'm saying the schedule's made years in advance. And I says, yeah, and Duke won't come to Miami. Arizona won't go to Miami, Ohio. But they beat every team on their schedule. But I hate when people say, well, they haven't played anybody. Well, is it their fault? Those other teams, they beat every team on their schedule. You know, it's like people complaining. I heard guys on TV talking about the Patriots had the easiest schedule. I'm like, that's not their fault. The schedule was made up in advance, years in advance. The Patriots beat everybody on their team. They got beat by a superior team by Seattle, but they made it to the Super Bowl. But to say they didn't play anybody during the regular season, I'm like, they played their schedule. So I really am not a big proponent of strength of schedule. You beat the teams that's on your schedule.
So if they lose in their conference tournament,
They should still get in.
if it's their first loss,
Yes. They should still get in.
All right.
They're 30-1. And like I say, those other teams, they playing with house money. And there is a tremendous amount of pressure on them too, because they probably do have to go undefeated. So you have to factor that pressure in. But if they 30-0, I think they should get in.
NFL Combine.
Yes, the Underwear Olympics.
If you were to run the 40
In my day?
in your day, what would you run the 40 in? When you were Charles Barkley.
4.5.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
4.5 40. What would you run it in now?
5, 6, maybe 6.
Oh come on,
What do you mean?
got to be higher than that.
Why you say that?
You ran it in 4.5
Yeah, that's when
at your absolute prime.
4.5. That's like a really good tight end. Mm-hmm. I want to
And
know
now
what.
at 63.
Yes, I run like a 6.
Oh, would you be willing to do that?
I don't know.
Would you be willing to do that?
I
if-
might get hurt, Ernie.
I know.
Well,
I just don't. I thought you might be a little more modest than that. Just, you know what?
Modest?
I'd be lucky to break
6.
10.
10? Are you crazy? 10? You might make me go home and practice this here.
Hey, the world would love to see it. 6 at 63 in the 40. Come on, man.
Ernie, come on. I actually think I can beat 4.5 in my day. I'd like to see what the best time for a tight end is, because I could outrun a tight end in my day for sure.
Okay. That was interesting. I really didn't think you were going to say you could do it in any kind of a
6, that's
a
like
decent
that's like
time.
walking fast, like that old stupid thing they do in the Olympics when you walk fast.
race walking.
That's not even a thing.
Yes, it is, apparently.
Yeah, that's not a thing. Nobody walks like that.
That's
You ever seen people walking the street, walking that damn race walk? Yeah, hell no.
No. But then they're not competing in the Olympics either.
Okay. Well, that's just because you make up stuff. That's like that damn biathlon thing. Who says, "Hey, let me take a shotgun skiing and stop and shoot"? That's not a thing. They just be making up stuff, Ernie. Seriously. Have you ever? First of all, skiing is not a black activity, but I've never seen a white person skiing. They just stop and just have a shotgun on the back.
Good point. That's it for Round Mound. We'll be back in just a second.
Chuck and Ernie in the steam room. Come and join us in the steam room. Chuck and Ernie in the steam room. Leave your towel on in the steam room.
Chuck and Ernie in the steam room. Chuck and Ernie in the steam room. Leave your towel on in the steam room. The baritone of Charles Barkley.
Thank you all very much for hanging with us today here in the steam room, all you loyal steamers. And you know the way we always finish the show. Couple of calls.
Yep.
From folks who have dialed up Chuck's answering machine, 404.
870 9.
How about 987-0330?
Okay. Hey, man, seriously, I'm sick of this BS. Y'all make my damn head smaller. I'm telling y'all, I've lost weight.
Yep. That is a big old noggin.
That's a big old noggin, isn't it?
Call number 1.
Hello, world. This is Charles Barkley. Leave me a message.
How you doing, Godfather and Grandfather? Longtime loyal steamer Teddy, calling you from Chicago, Illinois, and co-founder of EJ's Good for the Soul. It's been a long time since I called you guys. Just wanted to give you a call because my father-in-law, who actually works at Hyatt here in Chicago, said he met you the other day, Chuckster, when you were going in there with the vitamin water that you are promoting now. And I just wanted to say, it sounds like you're giving Shaq a run for his money. You know, the bowl of deliciousness I keep seeing on billboards now, Row.co. You got Capital One with March Madness, and now you got the vitamin water as well. All this time you've been busting on Shaq, you might just be the one that's selling anything nowadays. What you going to come up with next, Chuckster?
Well, shout out to your father-in-law.
And shout out to him for having the idea of Good for the Soul.
Yes. So Jim Reynolds is one of my business partners, and we have a coconut water called Cocoa 5, and we're going to partner with Hyatt and Devin Booker, Derrick Rose, Mike Wilbon. We're all owners of the company. It's a really good product. So Cocoa 5 is the name of the product.
Are you a big coconut water guy?
I am. It's really nutritious, and we got some delicious flavors too. My favorite is cherry. You know, my thing is lemon. Anything lemon, but cherry's really good. So it's been fun to do that. But there's no Cocoa 5 commercial, my brother. Shaq is in every commercial. I'm only doing Capital One and Row.co.
Yeah, I can just see the Cocoa 5 billboard coming to a street near you. Next.
Hi, Charles. Hi, Ernie. This is Michael from Richmond, Virginia, also a student at Virginia Tech. I had a quick question for both of you, and that was, what movie do you wish you could watch for the first time again? Thank you guys so much. Thank you for the show. Love you guys. Always making me laugh. Bye.
Which movie would you like to watch again for the first time?
Well, I got a short list of my favorite movies.
I have a long list.
Yeah. So my favorite movie, my first probably two is The Professional with Gary Oldman, Jan Reno. It's probably my favorite movie. And then the second probably My Cousin Vinny with my man Joe Pesci. But I
thought you were a big Braveheart guy.
I love Braveheart. I got Draft Day with Kevin and Jen, Peppermint with Jen, New Jack City with Wesley Snipes, and
you must be talking about Jennifer Garner. Now
Jennifer Garner. I call her Jen. We call her Jen.
That's all you do.
When we're on the set, we call her Jen.
Yeah.
But New Jack City and Pulp Fiction Anytime those two movies are on, Wesley Snipes is phenomenal in New Jack City. But Pulp Fiction, but man, I'm gonna tell you, Professional and My Cousin Vinny, those are my two go-tos.
And give me a little No Country for Old Men. That's ooh man. And see, anytime I'm flicking around and it's on, I just pick it up from where it is.
When he's flipping the quarter.
Oh yeah.
Why, you want to bet? Bet what? Bet what?
That's exactly right.
Like,
that's your best impression you've ever had.
But Joaquin, Bardem?
Excuse me. Anybody else having?
Is that how you say his name? Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
He is fabulous in that movie. He is amazing. Josh Brolin's good in it too.
Yeah, no, that's a great.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, it's a great one.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. And that brings us, Chuckster, to Good for the Soul.
Oh yes.
Something I saw on the news, which was a pretty cool story, involving Hoot, who's a bloodhound. Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Is that the dog that was lost?
No, this is the dog who found an autistic teenager who was lost. We have the video of that too. I believe that they had the body cam video. They gave the bloodhound like a shirt or something from this kid. He got the scent, and a mile from where they started,
a mile
from where they started, he tracked this kid. And this happened in Florida a night or two ago. And when they got there, it was like, you can see, here's the kid, and here's Hoot, the bloodhound. And here's the deal. This is like, over the last 2 years, the fourth time Hoot has been part of a search, and
he found that kid a mile away?
Yes. Kid had wandered away from a gym while it was still light out, and then they gave him the scent.
Man.
Darkness falls. He finds the kid.
He is so lucky.
How about that? Isn't that awesome?
That's a miracle.
It is.
Let me tell you something. They don't screw around down in Florida, because they got damn alligators everywhere. I mean, if you get lost down in Florida, that is an amazing story.
Yeah, isn't it? So, congratulations, Hoot. That's good for the soul.
Man, that's so awesome.
Week. Yeah.
Thanks, Hoot.
Yeah. So that's it for this edition of the Steam Room. Been a lot of fun.
It has.
Hey, take a page out of Ryan Leake's book, man.
Be positive, man.
Yeah. Be encouraging.
Yes.
And that's it for this week.
Yes. Thank you.
Can't wait to see y'all next time we get together in
the Steam Room. Keep your towel on.